Okay, first graders, we're going to do some art to help introduce our new author of the month that we are going to start reading stories from. Okay, so for doing this one, you are going to need this paper from your packet and this paper from your packet. And then you have in your packet both a piece of blue construction paper and a white art paper, and you can choose which one you want to use for the background, okay? So I'm going to show you how you would use the white one, but if you don't want to do that part of the art, you can just use the plain blue one, okay? So, and then aside from those, you will also need, if you're going to do the white background, you will need some watercolors. And so with watercolors, I have a cup of water and a paper towel or napkin that you can use to clean the brush off with. And then for the rest of it, you are going to need some regular paints. Okay, so when we do this in class, I pull out the red, yellow, and orange to use on this flower page. And then I use the yellow again and green and black for this page, which is going to end up being a stem and leaves. Okay, so I mean, you can choose to do your flower with different colors, but red, yellow, and orange will make it look like some of the art that our author does. And if you've read the title of this video, we are going to be focusing on Eric Carle. So this is how he likes to do his art, with lots of layers and lots of colors mixed together. And so that's what we're going to do to make this flower. And if you do it with the red and orange and yellow, then the flower will look a lot like a flower you see in some of his books. Okay, so that's why I choose to do those colors. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera down onto the art page here. Let's see, move that over a little bit. And there we go. Okay, so the first thing I would always have you do is to put your name inside each of these sections. So I'm going to do that. And remember, you can always pause the video at any time if you need more time. Lots of places to put your name. Okay, so I have my name in all of those, and I'm actually going to do that on this page as well. Okay, so once you have your name in all of the sections, then we're going to take the flower page and turn it over. And I am going to just do a little stripe of paint of the red, the yellow, and the orange across the back here. And then I'm going to spread it around with my fingertips, just like I'm doing finger paint. So there's a little bit of red. Let's see if my orange will, see if my orange will work. I used orange just the other day, so on something else, so it should. There we go. There's a little bit of orange and some yellow. Okay, so red, orange, and yellow, and then I'm just going to use my fingertips, and I'm going to spread that around just using the fingertips. I don't really want the colors to get mixed all the way together. See how it's leaving streaks of the colors in between? Okay, and you will not need to go all the way to the edges. But hopefully you'll get close. Get a little bit more red in there. Maybe a little more yellow too. Okay, so I'm just doing some back and forth, spreading the colors, and we want it almost to the edges. I'm kind of checking the back to see if I'm getting the paint close enough to the edges that I'm covering up the shapes from the back. Let's see. I can turn this around and I can kind of see. You can see on the other side if you're getting it all the way to the edges. Okay, so once you've got that nice and streaked around, okay, I'm going to move that one out of the way. I'm going to rub off some of the paint off of my fingers. Notice I only tried to use like 2 fingers because I didn't want to make too much of a mess. Okay. And then I'm going to clean off my finger. I have a cleaning cloth here, so I'm just wiping off that from my fingers a bit. And I'm going to move that one out of the way to dry. Okay, now, okay, it's like wet there. Okay, now I'm going to take the piece that was our leaves and our stem. In this one, I'm going to put mostly green. Make sure that's mixed up. Okay, get some green on there. And then I'm going to put a little bit of yellow. And then I'm going to put a tiny bit, just like one little squirt of black, or a couple little dots, I think. I'm just going to put a few little dots of black in here. Okay, so yellow and green and tiny bit of black. Then again, I'm going to just use 2 fingers. And I'm going to streak it back and forth. I'm not going around in circles because I don't want the colors to completely mix together. This one you will need to go closer to the edges because of where the colors are, or where the lines are for the shapes on the other side. So I think I'm probably good on the leaves, but over here is where my stem is, and that's really close to the edges. Looks like I'm going to need a little more paint. Let me pull some of that black from there. Okay, so again, I have it just kind of streaks in there, not completely mixed together, but you can see bits of green, bits of mostly green, but with the bits of yellow and black mixed in there. Okay, so now I have that one, and I'm going to move it out of the way to dry. Okay, washed off my hands. So now I'm going to show you how to do the background. So I'm going to wipe off the counter real quick. So there's some paint on there. Okay. My hands dry. Dry that off. Okay. Now, to make my background, I'm going to do some splattering. Okay. So I'm going to splatter this. So I'm going to get my watercolors and I am going to use brown, yellow, orange, red, and then a little bit of the green, blue, and purple. I'm not going to use black for this. So, first color I'm going to get my brown. I'm going to get it nice and wet. Okay. Then once I have it nice and wet, I'm going to get my paintbrush in it. And once my paintbrush is in it, I'm going to hold the paintbrush close to the paper and flick the paint from the paintbrush. Okay, so I started with the brown. And do one more bit of brown on here. Okay, and now I'm going to do some yellow. So I cleaned off my brush. Okay, clean it off. Get some orange now. Clean it off. Red. And now I'm just going to do a little bit of green, like I said before. We're just going to use a little bit of the green, a little bit of the blue, a little bit of the purple. So there's my green. Okay, got my blue nice and wet. A little bit of blue in there. And just a little bit of purple. Okay, so now I have a nicely splattered paper. And now I'm just going to wait for everything to dry and then I will be back. Okay, see you in a while. Okay, we're back here and our paper has dried. So you can see nice, all these different streaks in there, the bits of yellow, orange, and red. Once they're dried, we're going to flip them over and we're going to cut out each of these sections. So even though it just has dotted lines here and straight lines and solid lines other places, you are going to cut on both. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Okay, so I have all of those cut out and now I'm going to place them onto my splattered paper. So here's the splattered paper that we looked at, that we made before. So I'm going to line up with the bottom. Okay. So lining up the stem with the bottom. And I'm just going to use some wet glue. I'm using wet glue because this paper is thicker, and so it just works better with wet glue. So it's lined up right on the bottom, going down the middle here. Okay. And I'm going to put the leaves on. Okay. So again, I'm going to use the wet glue. And put those on. Okay. And then when you're doing the flower, you're going to want to kind of space it before you actually glue anything on. So you're going to want to leave enough empty space above the centerpiece to be able to leave a little space and place the petal. Okay, so that looked like it was a good spot. Okay, right there. And then I'm going to place the petals around, leaving a little bit of space between them. Okay, so those look like they are spaced well. And then I'll just move one at a time. Out of the way. Put the glue down. Okay, and then once that's dry, you can hang it up as this fun flower and enjoy. Hope you have a good time. Talk to you later. Bye.